Welcome to the channel. This is Waga. Today we'll be building, or rather in the next series of videos, we'll be building another app. The app in question fetches data from an API, the NASA APOD API. Not exactly the NASA APOD API, but something along those lines. And it displays images, and when you click on the images, it takes you to a more detailed page where you can find out more information about the picture that you just clicked on. So for example, the app in question is on your right, on the simulator on your right. So for example, we have we get 5 images, and we have, let me just scroll up. As you can see, we're using a feature builder, so it's sort of lazy loaded. We have a bit of lazy loading, and let's click on this one. This one looks nice. So when we click on it and give it a minute, it shows the photo, the date it was taken, a bit of information about it, and some information about the picture. And you can see it is clear who is the biggest star in this binary system, blah 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 blah. The star is called Phi Persei double star. And yeah, we could maybe click on another one. This one is Mirror over Germany. Mirror. Okay, that's an interesting name. If we click on it, we get this image, the date, the title at the top, and yeah, and all this. We're using various packages. We're using transparent image. You can see them on the pub-spected YAML. We're using transparent image, cached network image that stores the images in SQFlite on locally, so that it doesn't stores the images locally, so that we don't have to fetch every time we go over the same images. And of course, there's an inkwell, image inkwell, which we can use to click on the image. You could use it, or I'm guessing you could use one of the gesture detectors, but we're using an image inkwell like so. And yeah, and we're also using, of course, you have to use HTTP to actually hit the REST API and fetch it. We're only going to use GET since yeah, we're only going to use GET since we're not posting any images. We're just getting image from a REST API and displaying it, and displaying more information about it when clicked. We also have, if I can go back, and yeah, if we can go back on this, we have an action button, an action icon button on the app bar, which if we click will give us 5 completely different images. Like if I hit this, it should give us a couple more images, and you see the images. They take a bit of time to load. Maybe my internet is not the fastest. We have walking in space, moon over planet Earth. Okay, let's pick a nice one. We display the title on the card under the picture. We're actually using a stack here, and we can see a berry bowl of Martian spherules, whatever the hell. Okay, I'm guessing it's a tiny spheres. Let's click on that, and yeah, that's basically the app. There are a few nifty features here and there that we can go over when we're dissecting the app, and more information about that, and that can be explained as we go around, as we go to build. In creating the model that we used, I used a plugin. Instead of writing, for example, writing all this out, you could just farm this out to be automated. You could automate the model that you're looking at currently. For that, you would need a plugin. There's a plugin that can, there are actually 2 plugins I found out about. Previously when I was working on another project, I had to write all this by hand, but essentially all this can be completely automated if you just take the JSON and use the plugin, and if you combine the two, the JSON and the plugin, it will create a model file. In this case, we called the file NASA, and all the information about it, and even gives you factory methods. So basically everything is sorted. It saves a lot of time, and there's a lot of care. I remember when I was building an app on the same, I was working with a different API. I made a mistake somewhere here. It had lots of, I was using the hack and use API, and it has lots of entries, the children and the list and that. I made a tiny error, and it took me forever to find it among the list of everything that you had to go down on. So using this plugin is perhaps the way to go. Of course, I'll explain all this, and should you choose to want to do it manually, I don't know why you would choose that, but it's open if you want to do it manually, so that you can better understand and how to create the factory methods and what the factory methods are, and I'll explain a bit of that, and maybe the serializing and things like that. And yeah, basically that's the app. We have a few files. It's not a very big app, as you can see. So the routing is essentially either we pop it off the stack, or we go to the specific image clicked. So for example, you can do that, or you can click on the specific image. It takes a bit of time to load. So yeah, basically that's the entire app. This image is a bit squashed at the top, tiny, but yeah. So basically this should be a bit shorter than I think the Hive app, but it'll teach you, it will ground you and teach you several important lessons that you would use in building apps. It will teach you that there's a bit of routing, there's a bit of you work with images, and most of all, you hit a REST API and you show the network image. Those are all very important. Of course, you're using cached network image, or the cached network image provider actually from that package, and this one saves the images locally. So it's all good, and of course you can also refresh and get, if you don't like the images you could refresh and get another 5. So it is, I think it's pretty good, and it teaches you all the basics of networking. So this is the app, and we'll be building it in the next few videos, and I hope that I will have you on board and we can complete this and we can go to the next one. As always, like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have a question, or if you have a comment, if you have an idea on what I should build next, just leave it in the comments. I will read them and get back to them. Otherwise, come to the channel. We are going to start building our Infinity app, and one of the first things we're going to do is, I like getting it out of the way, is just getting all the various packages that we need to use in our app. They're not very many, they're about 4 I think, so we could just go over that. Our app is currently running on VS Code on the simulator to the right, and on the left I have just the run-of-the-mill startup project for Flutter. So I just have a random, the usual startup project. So what we could do first is we could come to the pubspec.yaml, and here we first come, and remember the pubspec.yaml is indentation sensitive, so you have to get it right. One trick you could use is just align it under the Cupertino icons, like so. And next we go to pub.dev. Now, since we are hitting an API, the first package we need is HTTP, so that it can hit our API and essentially get get the JSON. It's going to get JSON back. So we need to install HTTP, which is, I'm guessing, the standard when you're using HTTP. Or there are other packages you could use, but we'll use HTTP. So you get this, you copy, and we go back to our Android Studio, and we put it under Cupertino, like so. And then after that, the next app we need, the next package rather, not app, is cached image network, cached or cached, I don't know, it depends on which side of the pond you learned your English from. So the cached image network, which just returns and saves the cached images using an SQF-Lite on the local device. It saves us a bit of bandwidth so that we don't have to constantly fetch them. And for that, we get the cached image network is 2.00 currently. So we would take that and we would come under here and do that. And after that, we are going to use an image inkwell and transparent image. The transparent image just returns a transparent image, like the name says. It's pretty basic. We'll use it in the details page, where it will give us a transparent image over there. So we are going to say transparent image like this. It's an underutilized package, but it does the job. We could come to installing, copy this, like so, copy, come back to our PubSpec, do that, and after that we have image inkwell. We have image inkwell, like so, and image inkwell is, yeah, it's also it gives you this effect. Pretty simple. So we would copy that. Okay, let's just get the copyright. Oh, how come it's not copying? Let's do that and come back here and voila, like so. So we have gotten, these are the 4 packages we're going to use in our app, and we hit pub.get or pub.get or on VS Code. Okay, yeah, you can also get it on VS Code, I believe. I prefer using Android Studio. So we have gotten all the packages we need, and we'll be using them progressively as we go on with our app, and we will continue, and we're going to start working on our models. Today we will work on our models and use the plugin to fetch, essentially hit our API and fetch. No, yeah, we will go to our API, get a JSON, get the model, and describe what the JSON will look like to that, so that we can convert it into a map and a list. Make it easier on ourselves. Okay, let's get to that. So we're going to continue the app, and we're going to use a REST API, of course, and a REST API is just a URL to a server which allows you to retrieve and also post data. So there are various methods. The one you use the most is get, which retrieves data. There's also post, which is used for saving data to the server, and there's put and delete. Put is for updating, and delete is, of course, for deleting. So the API we're going to use, the API in question, actually is, if you go here and look for Heroku, if you go to Google, I'm using Ecosia, which is, I believe, a plugin that allows you to, how do I describe it? Ecosia plants trees the more searches you make, so it helps the planet. Just by searching, you could help the planet. It's something you should look into, and their searches are also pretty decent. You always find what you're looking for. So for example, I have 2 trees. Anyway, that's a side note. Just include them, add them to your, put them on your browser or your search engine. Actually, use it as your search engine. It's called Ecosia. Yeah, so if we look for Heroku NASA APOD API, we would come here and we would find Heroku NASA APOD API. I believe it's this one. It uses the NASA APOD, which is it shows you a picture of the day, I believe. What does APOD API mean? What does APOD mean? APOD stands for, it's the NASA API Astronomy Picture of the Day. APOD, Astronomy Picture of the Day. Yeah, but the thing with the APOD is that it requires you to have to register and get a, what's it called? Get a key so that you could make calls to the API. This one is actually faster, and you don't actually need a key, and it's a bit easier to use, right? So we'll be using the API, and this is the information about the API. So, for example, you can see this is an example of of the API that we will use. It uses it's basically the same. Yeah, so for example, we could in particular I'm going to use the count 5 here. It suggested 5, so this query will return 5 random APODs. And if you astronomy picture of the day, if you look at here, we have 1 2 3, go up, wait, it's lazy loaded because we're using a future builder. So yeah, so it uses 5. So actually API is going to also have a count of 5, and if we refresh you'll get the same 5 new pictures. So this query, when we hit this API, returns 5 random APODs. Now there are many ways. JSON, of course, stands for JavaScript object. What does it call? It's called JavaScript object notation, I believe. Yes, JavaScript object notation. It's basically what you see in this array. This is a JSON, so it usually has a key and a value pair, and the key is usually a string. Yeah, the key is usually a string, and this the value can be multiple things, like, yeah. So can it only be keys? Okay, I'm a bit foggy on that right now. I'd have to check it up. But basically, this is what we're going to be passing, and there are many ways you can pass in Dart. You could pass out the key value pairs by hand if you wanted, for example, and or you could use serializers or build serializer. There are various packages that you could actually use to pass the JSON. I believe there's there's one called JSON annotation, which is pretty popular. Wait, let's just look for JSON annotation. JSON underscore annotation like this. JSON annotation is pretty good, and we could use it and JSON alongside JSON serializable and the build runner, which would run the JSON serializable. The serializable just creates extra helper classes that will help you convert strings into your models. You could go this way, and there's nothing wrong with this. But one way I recently read about, and I tried it out, and it worked marvelously, was to use a plugin. A plugin saves you a lot of time and effort. Now, how to get a plugin is if you come back to Android Studio. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do it with VS Code, or rather, I haven't even looked into how you do it with VS Code. So let me just say that if you look online, I'm sure there is a method on how you can do it. But what you would do in Android Studio is you come to Preferences, click on Preferences, and basically where you would have Flutter, and you'd come to Plugins, and you could see I have Dart, Firebase Services, Flutter, and JSON to Dart. So just search for JSON to Dart and install it. Now, after you install it, that's when you can start using it, and I'll show you just how easy it is to create a model class using the plugin, as opposed to using annotation, the build run, and serializable. Okay, so first things first, we would come to the lib folder, or the lib folder, and right click and create a new Dart file. We can call it models, like so. And after we do that, wait, how come it didn't? This has been happening to me of late, where I create a file and it doesn't show up for some reason. I have to create it again. We could say call it model, hit enter, and okay, there. Seems to be working now. Okay. How we create the model is simple. We would come to code here, and we hit generate, and we type on create data classes from that, and we give it a name of NASA, and we come back to our API, and we click on one JSON object. You can pick one. You can either pick one, any of these, and yeah, there's an instance of just one. Like here, we can just pick this one like this, which has all the information. So we hit copy. We go back to our VS Code. We put it here, and we just hit generate. Voila, and everything has been created. We have a from JSON method, factory method, that will allow us to convert for example, a NASA object into JSON, and also convert it from JSON. Like, I believe there's a from JSON. Yeah, so here we can convert it into JSON, and here we can convert it from JSON. So basically that's that. You can see that it's a lot easier than the other methods, because we have all the why is it complaining? Lower camel case. Okay, fine. Yeah, so we have string, we have copyright, no, we have apod site, we have copyright date, description, HD URL, image, thumbnail, media type, title, URL. So basically this is it. We have a constructor here, named constructor. So we have everything, basically. We don't have to sweat too much, which I think is pretty cool, and that is the importance of using the plugin. You don't have to run a build serializer. You can also do that, but I don't think it's required, essentially. Yeah, so we have done everything, I believe. We've created the model, and now it is our job to use the model. We are going to use, for example, HTTP, the HTTP method, HTTP package, to actually hit the REST API and hit get. And yeah, basically that was the beginning, or rather, that's this video. We have created the app, we have created the model, we've used the plugin, I've introduced you to the HTTP the REST API will be using, and we can continue from there. Thank you. As always, like and subscribe, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to work on our homepage, the one that you see on the simulator to the right. And last we worked on the model. We used the plugin installed to create this model. Yeah, that's what we did last time, and this time we're going to create the homepage. So first things first is we are going to main, and we're going to clear it out. So we're going to hit Control A, clear it out, and start off by importing the usual Flutter material, that like so, and putting in the semicolon as seen. And then after that, we will, of course, every data app must have a void main, which is the entry point of the app. So that is basically what we will use. We actually have to use it, it's not like it's optional. So the main method is going to run our app, and our app is going to be called, we can just call it my app. Or we could call it Infinity. I mean, what's the hell? What's the harm? Infinity, like so. To infinity and beyond. And of course, we are yet to create Infinity. So we would come down here, and it's going to be a stateless widget. Yeah, so of course I have the snippets installed so that you can do that. I think you can also find them on VS Code, so that should be basic. And I mean, I'm assuming it's common knowledge, but yeah, you just type STLESS and you create a stateless widget. So for that, we're going to call this infinity, like so. Infinity is going to return a material app, like so, and the material app is going to have a title of, no prizes for guessing it, of course, infinity, to infinity and beyond. We're going to have theme, and the theme data is going to be there's a plane flying overhead, which is pretty low, so I'm thinking you might be hearing that. Say colors dot blue, like so. Why is this thing blocking me? God. And of course, for the home we're going to have a home page, like so. And this has not yet been created, so we would come to the lib folder or the lib folder, right click and create a new dot file. We will call it home. We can call it home page. Let's just call it home page, like so. Hit enter and we have home page. So in home page is going to be, I believe, a stateful widget. Yes, home page is going to be a stateful widget. So stateful widget, and for that we type stful, hit tab, and we get stateful, and we could call it home page, like this, and we import the prerequisites, which is let me just flower material dot. Let me just solve that, and of course we are going to create a variable that is going to have a list of everything we get from the REST API, and it's going to resolve to a future. So we could say future here and have a list of NASA capital. Let's make a capital. We called it NASA with a capital, right? NASA, like so. Let me just confirm with the model, and we have that is called NASA, like so. So yeah, so we have NASA. Let's just import it quickly. We can do import model. So we have imported the model, and yeah, I prefer importing by just right clicking and then solving it like that. It's faster, and you could argue a bit easier than figuring it out exactly where it is. That's what an IDE is supposed to do. It's supposed to help you so that you can concentrate on the more challenging tasks. After that, we're going to have a string that will have the endpoints that we're going to hit, which we're going to say is final string URI, and you could confirm the URI is from the previous video, but I'll just type it out: https://api.herokuapp.com. I'm using this one because the NASA one is a bit slow and you need a key for it. So I was like, we could do this with the same. It works the same, works faster in fact. You could argue it's better. So we could use this one, and the count for it, we're going to use 5 images. As you can see on the simulator, we have 5. If you want more, I find that if you get more than 5, or rather it suggests 5, so that's where we got that idea from. Right, it's not okay. Yeah, you can scroll. I'm trying to scroll up, and it's taking a bit of time. So the more photos you take, the longer it will take to load. So I picked 5, and they also suggest 5 on the documentation as a test, initial test. So that's something you could look at. and that's why we're picking the 5. You could, however, set it to 7, 8, 9, even 10 if you want. It's up our API. First thing we want to do is we're going to import the HTTP package. We're going to say HTTP dot, like so, put in the semicolon there, and then we're going to come down here and we're going to create the method. It's going to resolve to a future. So we're going to say future like so, and say list, and it's going to have NASA, and it's going to be called fetch NASA, like this. It's going to be an async function. Yeah, it's going to be async, and we could call this as HTTP. We could use it as HTTP on this method, and we're going to create a response variable to hold what we get back. We're going to say response equals await HTTP dot get, and pass in the URI that we just put up here, like so, and put a semicolon there. And then we're going to check on if the response on the response object, what is the status code. If the status code is 200, that means everything has gone swimmingly, right? We're not going to check for other errors. We're just going to go with assume that everything has gone well, and that's what we're going to work with. So I am going to say if response.status code is exactly equal to 200, like so, we are going to create a final JSON list, which is going to be JSON decode, and we'll pass the response body, response.body, like so. And we of course have to import the JSON decode. So I would come here, and it's from that convert, right? So yeah, so we would do that in the case that the status code is 200. That means everything has gone well. JSON decode does is it takes the JSON and returns a map, a dat map, just a basic dat map, and after that we're going to come here and say if we're going to have another if clause and say if JSON list is a list, if we have actually gotten back a list, we are going to map through the list, return a JSON list dot map, and the map is going to take each element and use the NASA dot from JSON, pass in the JSON, which is J, or we could just spell it out here. We could just come here and say JSON. We could pass in the JSON, so we could say here JSON, and we could convert it to a list, like so. So basically that's what we do. We take the JSON list, we pass it to this was created on the factory model. So we would take the list and we would convert it into a NASA object. Yeah, so we would take the list and map it out as NASA, like that. And after that, if all fails, we should throw an exception. We would say throw exception, and the message is going to be HTTP call not made, like so. So we have gotten the HTTP call, and we would say that it has not been made, like so. For that, we're going to create an init state method. we're going to say void init state. We'll use it in a bit towards the end, but I just thought let's create it now. And we can say super dot init state, like so. Yeah, well, let's just leave it to do here. There's something we'll do in it a bit later. And yeah, and after that, now we can start building the scaffold that you see. And for that, we would come down here and say scaffold, like so. And the background color we use, the background you can see here, is a color called colors dot blue gray. It's this one. It's called colors dot blue gray, like so. That's the colors dot blue gray. Then we add the app bar. The app bar is going to be app bar, like so, and the title is going to be the text. The text is going to be in infinity, like so. The style, we're going to add a bit of style to it and say text style, like so, is going to have a font size. The font size we're using is 20. Let's make it 24. What the hell? I used 20. In building this one I had used 20, but I'll bump it up a bit, say 24, and come here and say that the font weight is going to be font weight dot bold, the bold, like so. Yeah, and we're going to give the, although you wouldn't notice it actually now that I think about it, we're going to give it elevation. You barely can notice it. Elevation is going to be 16.0, like so. And we are going to center the title. If you don't center the title, it will lean to the left, I believe. So we're going to center the title, and this is going to be set as true, like this. That means that we're going to get it in the center here. And the background color can be is the black working with the blue gray. Now I'm having second choices about my design choices. Let's say gray. We'll change it, and we can change it in the last one. You can say colors dot, is there a light gray or something? Colors dot dot what? Colors dot, let's call it colors dot, let's just go with the black, stick with the black. Always bet on black, as they say. Okay, and after that we can say actions. The action is for this action button that we can use to reset, or rather get five other random images. So the action button, and it's going to be of type icon button, like so, and the icon is going to be icons dot auto. This one is called auto renew. This one, this circular thing, it's called auto renew, right? Icon dot, wait, icon into, oh sorry, I made a mistake here. It's supposed to be icon into icon of icons dot auto renew. Oh god, that can be a bit verbose in that situation. And we're going to add an onPressed, which is going to be a method that this is where we're going to put the to do. Actually, we're going to say put in a set state, and we want it such that when we click on this, it fetches 5 more. So what we could do first, we could come to the init state. The init state is the first thing that is done when the widget is inflated on the screen, right? When the widget is inflated on the screen, I believe that is what they call it, inflation. This is exactly what init state is going to be the first thing that is going to be done. So what we're going to say here is we're going to say NASA equals fetch NASA, like so. I believe we create, yeah, NASA equals fetch NASA. Yeah, so we're going to call fetch NASA at during the init state, like that, right? And in the icon button, coming down here on the icon button, we are going to call the same, essentially, NASA equals fetch NASA. So when you hit the button, you're going to trigger you're going to hit the API again, and it will give you 5 more random images, like so. So that's how you would do that. Yeah, and we come to the end of our app bar, and next it's time for our future builder that will display all these gorgeous images and this text. We're going to come to the end of the app bar, and we're going to have a body. The body is going to take a future builder. A future builder just I think builds widgets based on a future, and the future is basically just something that is delayed that will come in the future. So that's basically what you're going to do. And for a future builder, you need a future to pass in a future and a builder. And our future here is going to be NASA, which is going to pass in the NASA here, which we created here, which is just a list of NASA JSON objects, right? So we are going to say builder. To the builder, we're going to pass the build context, and the snapshot. And this is going to be just the list of the various NASAs, and it's going to be a snapshot here, like so. And of course you have to check if the snapshot has data. Why is this giving me? Oh, we are lacking one angled bracket, so we could put that there. And you have to check if the snapshot has data, if data has come in. So if the snapshot dot has data, we'll simply return a list view. Return a list view, and the list view is going to have padding, and we're going to say edge inserts.all, and we're going to pass a value of 16.0, like this. And the children are going to be, we're going to pass in a snapshot dot, we're going to take the data and map it, and we could say here NASA, and we're going to return something called a widget that we have not built, called a NASA card. We could say here NASA card. It hasn't been built yet. Just going to take a NASA, type NASA, and we're going to convert it into a list, like so. So that's what we're going to do. This one has not yet been created yet, so that's why it's creating that problem. Let's go back to the main.dat and import the home page so that we can get rid of this error. Import home page. So that has been sorted. Where we were at the home page, and it's complaining because we haven't built the NASA card. But yeah, we'd come here, put in a semicolon, and say else if snapshot dot has error, like so. We would create we would return, let's return we're going to make something for the error, and we're going to pass in the error as snapshot dot error, like so. So this is also not created, and wait, the list view. Okay, I see the problem. Let's just cut this, hit cut, come here and put it here, like so. Oh, okay. So yeah, and after that we have an else where we return a center, and the center is going to have a child of circular progress indicator, like so, and the value color is going to be always stops animation, and we're going to say colors dot blue. So when it's loading, you'll see that, right? And I think that's basically it. And we're getting 2 warnings because we do not have the error. We don't have the error, and we don't have the NASA card. We could create them before ending this. We could come here to the lib and create a new file, a new dot file. We call it NASA card, like so, and we hit enter, and we have a NASA card, and the NASA card is going to be, I believe, a stateless widget. It's going to be let me just confirm with my notes. It's going to be a stateless widget. So we could type strless, that's a stateless widget, and we say NASA card, like so, and we import the prerequisite. We'll build it in another video, not today. We could say Flutter material dot, like so, yeah, and come back to our home page, and I believe we can import NASA card, and we could get rid of that. The parameter NASA isn't defined. Yeah, we would also need to create a final parameter here. So we could say final NASA, like so, that we can pass it along, and we import the model. We'd import the model, and we create the constructor. And the best way to create a constructor is just to leverage on the IDE, create constructor for final fields, like so. So that has been made. So the error that was there in homepage will go away. Now the next thing to fix up is the error for the error. So we would come here and we would create a new dot file called error, like so. And this is also going to be a stateless widget, I believe. So it's going to be a stateless widget. We could say stateless, and we call it error. We import the prerequisites, which I'm sure you know is Flutter material dot, like so. And afterwards we create we need two fields. We would say final error, and we could say final. But when you use cache image provider instead of using just an image provider, I don't think you would ever get to the error. But we'll see. string of title. And for this, of course, we have to create the constructors like so, and this has been done. And we come back here and we can import the error. How come it's not importing? What did we call it? We called it error, right? Yeah, we called it error. Why isn't it importing? Let's come here and say import. We could say error dot, like so. And the error should go away. Where is it? I can't even see it. I've lost sight of it. Error, yeah. So now it has gone away. So we have created the home page, and yeah, what's left now is mainly just the UI. We have made the call. We have come here. We have made the call to. Let's get rid of this to do. We have made the call to our API. We have used our model to convert it to decode the JSON, and afterwards, basically the rest. We have used the future builder. The rest, what is left now is UI, and of course, the main thing left is the detail page. The detail page says that when you click like this, you come here and you get the detail of the image and the information like that. So that's what is left, and we'll be building it in the next videos. As always, thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next channel. We're going to continue building our Infinity app, and today we're going to do a lot of the UI stuff. And first, I'm going to point out a feature that we're going to be working on today that may not have been obvious to you. For example, if we click on this first image like so, let's click on it, and okay, it needs to load first. Let's go back, let's pop it out of the stack. So if we hit that, you notice that the image glides back to place. We're actually using the hero animation. We're using hero animation in this app, and it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy to use. You could see it here, but of course we have to load both images first, and then when we click that, it snaps back into place. So you see the image moving up, and perhaps it's not as pronounced because I'm running a simulator, I'm running the video capture, and I'm running a simulated video capture, and maybe my computer is overwhelmed at it. But we are actually using the hero animation, and I'll talk about it and how we implemented it. So we are on the NASA card, and this is going to be a lot of UI basically. And so let's get building. Let's get down to it. So we come here and we return. We're going to use the card widget, as you may have guessed from this, the card widget, and we're going to give it an elevation. We're going to give it an elevation of about 16.0, like so, and we're going to give it a margin. A margin is going to be edge inserts all, and this is going to be 12.0, like so. And the color is going to be colors dot gray. Are there any? Okay, it's just gray. Let's make it gray. And the shape is going to be, let's give ourselves a bit more real estate. We come here and we say rounded, capital R, rounded. I don't know why you have to put it capital. It should be able to figure out what you're trying to do, even when you put lowercase. We say border radius, let me spell it correctly, border radius, and the border radius circular, we're going to make it 12.0, and give a few commas to make sure that the dot formatter helps us a bit. We put in child, we say column, like so, and in it we put in some children in the column, and we're going to use a stack. Now a stack, normally, if you know about Swift UI, a stack actually deals with is equivalent to the Z index, and it starts positioning. It positions things according to the Z index, right? With depth, I mean. So it positions children relative to. It starts off with the. Since I'm guessing it was created by people who write right to left. It starts stacking the various widgets from top left corner, right? Just like you're writing. So the last item in the stack is the one that is most prominent in the Z index. So for example, we use a stack here, and in the children you will have container. We can put a container like so. We say container like this, and the container will have a width. We can have a width of 400, a height of 300, like so, and the container will have essentially we can have a child, a center child. A child will be center. We could say what the child is going to be a center, like so, and in it we're going to pass a child. Oh god, it's like nested child hell. Circular progress indicator, and the value color is going to be always stopped animation, and we're going to pass in, we could say colors dot theme, but let's just say colors dot blue. Colors dot blue, like so. So we have done that, and under the container, but still in the stack, we'll come here and put in the hero widget. Now the hero widget needs a tag to tell it exactly which image that it's going to be dealing with. So the tag can be, we can use the NASA dot date. We can use a date, because the date for each, I'm guessing for each picture the date is unique, right? Okay, I'm guessing 90, this is the date, right? And if we click on this one, it's called Astronomy Picture of the day. So I'm guessing if it's another day, it's another picture, right? So this is unique, I'm assuming. I've not found any collisions yet, but if you find collisions of multiple astronomy pictures, it would have been pictures of the day, right? That's my defense. But you can put it NASA.title if you want, because I'm guessing every picture will have a different title, right? We could put it NASA.title, but in the original I put it NASA.date. So we could say child, child. We say rounded rectangle, rounded rectangle image inkwell, like so. We're going to use the rounded rectangle image inkwell, and so we can click on the picture. We're going to say on pressed is going to we're going to push to the detail page. Like when you click it like so, wait, let me just show it. When you click it like so, it goes to the, why is this picture cropped like this? It goes to the details page. So we're going to use a material page router, of course, and in here we're going to say navigator dot push, and we're going to pass in, of course, the context so I can know where the hell it is, and we're going to have material page route, like so, and the material page route is going to take a builder, context, and it is going to return the details page, and the details page you're going to pass in now, so I can know what we are going to see. So we're going to pass that into the details page, like so. And yeah, so we could continue with this, and then we can go afterwards and fit in build the details. No, we're not building the details page today. We're going to build error page, but we could just set up something small so that the details this error goes away. I hate those squiggly lines. I feel like they're judging me and looking at me and asking, why haven't you solved this? Why haven't you solved this? So the details page is going to be a stateless widget. So we come here to project. In library, we right click, we create a dart file. We could call it detail. Okay, details fine. Detail. Hit enter, and it's going to be a stateless widget, so we're going to say stateless like so, and we're going to call it detail like so, and we are going to import the prerequisites, which I'm sure you can guess by now. Flutter material, okay, Flutter material dot, and we put in a semicolon because this is dot like so, and afterwards we're going to create a final like so, and say final of NASA like so, and of course we need to import this from the model, import model, and afterwards we create the constructor. I love it when IDEs think for you, do the heavy lifting for you. Okay, so yeah, and so we come back to NASA card. We will build that in another video. So we could just import this, and oh, okay, detail. Oh, we called it detail and it's supposed to be details page. Let's call it details. Is it detail page or detail? Let me just check. Details page. Details page. Okay. Fine, let's call it details page. No, sorry. Come here, say details page, like this. And we say details page, like this. So that has been solved, and we can come here and we import detail, like that. That has been sorted. And yeah, so that one we have taken care of that, but we need to go back and finish our, let me put this, we need to continue with NASA card, and after that we are going to, let's put a few commas here and there so that that formatter helps us. Yeah, put a few commas, just put in a few commas, make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, like so. Yeah, so afterwards we come down here, and in the rounded rectangle image inkwell, god, that's an ugly name, we say border radius is going to be border radius to circular, person 12 and 12.0. Of course, if you don't put the point, it'll still be cast as a, what's it called, as a flute. But yeah, let's be nice to our IDE, and we give it a height. We can say a height of 300. What did we put as a height? The height is 300, and we could say the width, not the weight, sorry, 400, like so. And the fit is going to be box fit.cover, and the background color is going to be colors.transparent, like so. And the image, you're going to use the cache network image. This will save the images locally, save us a few seconds when we are copying it. We won't be always making requests. We could say cached. Is it cached or cached? Cached network image provider, and the image is in the NASA.url, not Oracle, URL, like so, and put a comma here to help our formatter around. And afterwards, if we come down, why aren't we going back so I can show you? My simulator is refusing to. Okay, here it is. So we now need to put this these words here. It does look ugly, doesn't it? I'll put the words under the stack. So we come here. I don't know, what color could we change it to? We could change it to white. Should we change? No, but the white, how will the white work with the gray? I'm guessing black is a better option. Okay, we can make changes later. Let's just go with what we have. So we could say text. Design is usually the hardest part, if you ask me. NASA.title. If you have an eye for design, I envy you. I'm not the most stylish. Text style, and we pass in a font size The font size is going to be 16.0, like so. The font weight is going to be font weight dot bold, the bold. We could say this, we could make this 20. Let's make it a bit bigger, like so. So basically that is our completed NASA card. Yeah, that's it. Continue and let us build out our error.dat. Error.dat, hopefully you'll never be seeing this screen, but it's going to be mostly UI essentially. So it's going to be a quick build, and we can use that to finish that out, and then the next video we can build a details page. So we would come here and we would say center, because it's going to be the center, and afterwards we're going to give the center a child of container, a container like so. Give it a box decoration, give it a decoration of box decoration like so, and color is going to be colors.red. The border radius is going to be border radius.circular, and we're going to pass in 16.0 like so. Give it a comma, and we're going to come down here and give it a margin. A margin is going to be edge inserts symmetric, like so. We're going to say horizontally we want let's say 48.0, and vertical we want the 2.0, and the padding is going to be edge inserts dot symmetric. Is going to be horizontal 16.0, and vertical is going to be 32.0, like so. And afterwards we're going to have a child. The child is going to be our column, and we're going to have it, give it a main axis size, and it's going to be main axis size min, like so. And it's going to have children, of course, it's a column after all. And the children is going to be an icon. It's going to have a big icon in the center. It's going to be icons dot error. Wait, how do you do icons? It's icons dot error. Yeah, and then color is going to be colors dot black. Always bet on black. And the size, we're going to make it a bit big. Size is going to be 72. Oh God, 72, like that. And then we're going to have a sized box with a height of 20. Give it a height of 20, like so. So you can space it out. And afterwards we're going to have text. The text with a specific error, and it's going to be this dot title, like so. And the style, give it a bit of style. We're going to say text style is going to be, the text style is going to be color into colors dot white as snow. Give it a comma to help it along, and then we're going to put another sized box. Wait, sized box like this. The height is going to be just like the other one, 20. It's supposed to be 20.0, but it will be cast as a float. And the text is going to be, well, basically, you could just copy this text. Why reinvent the wheel when the cavemen already did it? We could copy this and bring it down and come here and paste it like so, and we could say, what do we say? Not this the title, this will be error.toString. Error.toString, like this. We convert it into a string because the first parameter in a text widget should be the string. So we convert the error into string, put that as white, hit save, and our app is now basically one page away from being done. We have done all the heavy lifting, the main things we have built today. We worked on the NASA card, and we worked with the stack, and we used the hero animation, and yeah, we used a bit of routing to the details page, and all that is left now is building the details page. That is the page when you click this, the one that you get there with I'm guessing the date, the person who took it, I guess, or rather the person attributed to it, and a bit of information, of course, the name, the title, the image, a bit of information on the date it was taken, and the person who it's attributed to, and information about the picture. That's all that is left, and we can finish up this up. Thank you. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Waga, and welcome back to the channel. As always, like and subscribe. We are going to continue building out our Infinity app, and today we're going to build the details page. The details page is the page that when you click, oh wait, let it start. It was starting up. When you click, just give it a second. When it loads and you click, it gives you more details about what you just, the image that you clicked on. And yeah, and first I can see there are two issues, the two errors that I left in my previous when we were building in the previous video. And the first is, okay, if we come here, I think we have an extraneous comma. We have an extra comma. So let's just do that, and I think that's sorted. This one is in the test widget, so it's fine. So yeah, so we're going to be working on the details page. The details page is going to be the page that when we click like so, let's click, yeah, so the page, this page, this is what we're going to be working on. It's pretty straightforward, and then after that we can hook up our the app we're building to the simulator, because the simulator is running on actually VS Code. It's VS Code that we're using to run this. So we're just going to hook up Android Studio to this simulator so that we can see it. So let's get to work. Let's go to the details page, and the first thing we're going to return is we're going to return a scaffold like so. We're going to have an app bar. The app bar is going to be app bar like so. The title is going to be from NASA. We're just going to get it from NASA, so we could say NASA dot title. The title is a string, I believe. Yes, so we can check in the model the title, string title. So yeah, so we can just pass in the string. The title is a string. It's the one at the top here. And the background color is going to be black, but of course the black leads with this black in the image, but not all images are black. So okay, we can have the background color to be colors black like this. And after that we're going to go to have a body, and in the body we're going to have a list view. The body is going to have a list view, and yeah, we're going to use a list view in the body. So you could say list view like so, and the list view is going to have, of course, we're going to use children, and the widget we're going to use stack. Stack and the stack, of course, are going to have children like so, and we're going to have the first child container. The container is going to be, we're going to say child, and at the center we are going to have center with child, stacking child hell again. We're going to say circular progress indicator like so. So afterwards we are going like so, and then we are going to have the hero. We need a hero. And the tag, of course, we used the tag last time. It was date, but you could use title. I'm guessing title is also pretty much title is also pretty much unique. And the child is going to be fade in. You could say fade in dot memory network like so. And the placeholder we're going to use, actually we're going to import transparent image and use it as a placeholder. We're going to, it's the package that we got at the beginning, and it's going to be transparent image, and you put a semicolon at the end like that. Yeah, and here we say k transparent, where is it k transparent image, and the image we're going to get from nasa.url, I believe. We're saying nasa.url like so, and the fit is going to be box fit.contain like so. And then at the end of the stack, we're going to come here and put a comma, and we can put a semicolon over here. And at the end of the stack, what's the stack? We're going to have padding like so, and here we're going to have padding like this, and we're going to say edge inserts.all. we pass in 16.0. Could pass in 16, it will be cast into a float. The child is going to be a row, and the row is going to have a children widget, and the widget I think are going to be this too. It's going to be a text. The text is going to be nasa.date like this, and the style is going to be text style, and this is of course, let's give ourselves a bit more real estate. This is of course dependent on your taste. If you want something bigger, put something bigger. If you want something smaller, put something smaller. Yeah, so font weight is going to be font weight dot normal like that, and font weight the normal font style is going to be font style dot italic like that. And afterwards we're going to have a container. The container is going to hold the space and this, right? The container is going to have, we could say the container is going to have a width, we could say a width of let's give it 200, and then the child is going to be text, and the text is going to be, well, yeah, we're going to put in the text there. Continue. So for the text we are going to put in yeah, we need this sign, this copyright sign. So for that you could just press Control, Command and Spacebar on a Mac, and on a Windows you press the window button and the full stop or period, and you would get something similar. So we'd scroll down, I think it's somewhere down. I saw it somewhere down. Where is it? Over here. Okay, so we have that C like that, and afterwards we put in a space, and we use string interpolation for NASA dot copyright like so. We can check that out in the model. Where is it? Copyright, string copyright. Yeah, that's that. That's what we're putting there. And afterwards we can put in some soft wrap so that it comes down like this. We could say true like so. Text align, we put it at the end. It's going to be text align.end to push it to that side, and the style is going to be text style. The text style is going to be basically the same as this.
the same as this one. So we could just copy this text style. Let's copy the inside of the, yeah, we say this, we copy this, copy, and then come and paste it here, like so. Yeah, and after that we're going to go to the end of padding. Why is it complaining so much? Oh, we haven't put a semicolon here. Why is this complaining? I'm trying to figure it out. Okay. What seems to be the matter? Text style. Oh, let's just undo what we just did to figure out what an infernal's name is going on. So everything is fine during that text style. So we could say font style, the 12, we copy it line by line. Copy the font weight normal, like this, come here, copy it, and say font weight dot italic to make it look like the other one. So after that we just come here and put font weight dot font weight. I didn't copy the F font style. Sorry, font style dot italic, like so, and that formatter helps us. And we come to the end of the padding, like so, the end of the padding, like so, and we can put a comma here, the end of the padding, like so, and we say padding, and the padding here is edge inserts dot from LTRB is 16.0, 16.0, and at the bottom we also have 16.0, like so. And yeah, and afterwards we're going to have the text, all this text here. The text, the child is going to be text into NASA dot description, which I believe is a string. We can confirm this from the dot. Is it a string? Is it a string? Yes, description is a string, as you can see over here. So we go back, and the style is going to be text style, and we are going to have font size is going to be 16.0, font weight is going to be font weight dot bold, like this, dot bold, yeah, like so. So we hit save, and that's it. Let's see if we have any errors. I think we are more or less done with that. Now it's time for the proof is in the pudding, trying it out. So gents, the moment of truth has come. We have finished building our app, but now we are supposed to test it and see if it actually works as it should. If I look at the data analysis, we have this error is from changing the name of is from the test widget, doesn't count. So we have no errors on our app. So what we could do is we could go to the VS Code and we could stop I built Infinity 2 here. We could stop the simulator and we could run it now from Android Studio from what we have built, like so. So we'd come here and we let's hit go. So hopefully the app will work as we intend it to.
I made a few changes on the fly as we're building out, but I'm confident everything should be fine. So we started off by setting up the model. We used the plugin to create this model, and it saves us time because it gives us factory methods to convert to JSON and from JSON. So that is very advantageous for us. Then we went to the main.dart and we built it plus the homepage. The homepage is what you're seeing here, and afterwards we built the NASA cards. These are the various cards that you see here with the information, and we also built the error card, which in case there is no connection you can just test it out and see the error card. And after that finally we built today the detail page. That is when you click on this. Let's see if it still has while this is still coming up, still building. Yeah, so we built this today. So hopefully everything should go as expected, and now it's just we're waiting to see if we have done a good job. I believe we've done a good job, and so we don't expect any surprises. Although I did increase the size of this font, I believe, from the original. It took 68.1 seconds. I'm running the video capturing. I'm running video capturing software, so maybe that's what takes so much time. But it should be fine like this. I'm waiting with bated breath. Drum roll, please. Okay, yes, we can see the circular progress indicator. Yeah, so we get this. It seems like it works. Let's see if we get 5. I'm trying to scroll up. 2 million galaxies. Okay. Eclipse of New York. Okay. So yeah, so those are the images, and we could hit the eclipse of New York to see whether we go into the details page. And yeah, we do go to the details page. Although why isn't this at the end completely? So let's go back to the details page, and it looks like we may have did we text align it to the end? I thought we text aligned it to the end. The date, then the container with the copyright, the text with the copyright. We text align it. Okay. Text align dot end. Yeah, why is there such a large space here? Okay, text align. Let's just get rid of this text align and see. It will come close to that, yeah. Why isn't the text align at the complete end? Or we increase the width, we say 400, like so. Okay, that's too much. 300. Okay, that seems okay. And let's try another image. This is the same. Let's try another something else. Okay, fine. I think that this, because there are 2 lines, I hadn't anticipated it having 2 lines. Let's make this a bit smaller. It was a bad idea to make it bigger. So for that, we would come to, I believe it's a NASA card, right? So the NASA card, we would, that's the title, wait. Yeah, this is the title. So we would come here and say, let's make it 16. I think 16 would look a bit better. Yeah. So okay, fine, that one. I expected it to only have like 1. And let's try to refresh and get 5 more. So it looks like the refresh works. So basically all our functionality that we set out to do or to build in our app is sort of working. It's working actually. It's not that it's sort of working. It's working. It's taking a bit of time to load this image, and when we click it, it's that. So basically that's it. We set out to build an app, the Infinity app, that hits the REST API, the 8-port REST API, and shows NASA's picture of the day.
and cache it locally, and on clicking it you get more information about the picture, and that's what you've gotten. So you have learned how to use HTTP, the cache network image provider. You have also learned how to use to parse JSON, and a bit of routing. You've learned quite a bit in this rather short tutorial compared to the others. As always, thank you. My name is Wago Dongo, and I hope you like the video and you subscribe, and I will see you in the next app.